I'm Jill Krebs in the Department of Philosophy and Religious Studies here at McDaniel. So I wanted to tell you about a Hindu story about the creation of the earth. See, Hindus think of time cyclically. There's not a clear, single beginning and middle and end of the world. There's, the universe is destroyed and then recreated anew every several billions and billions of years. So after the destruction of the universe, the god Indra decided to rebuild the universe, and he was going to rebuild the city of the gods. It was going to be the most magnificent city anyone had ever seen. So he got the gods of arts and crafts, Vishvakarma, and he got other laborers, to do this work. And the city of the gods was built with these beautiful palaces and temples and gardens and parks, and it was magnificent. But Indra was very demanding, and he always wanted more and more and more. It had to be bigger and better and more beautiful and more ornate. So all the laborers were kind of despairing. Their work would never be done, it would never be good enough. So they were kind of complaining. And one day, Indra was sitting in his throne room in the palace, and a boy came to see him. So he was led into the throne room, and he kind of smiled and sat down with Indra. And Indra was a very gracious host, and he asked the boy why he had come. So the boy says, well, I had heard all these wonderful things about the city of the gods. I'd heard how magnificent it was. So I came to see for myself. And indeed, it is the most magnificent, most beautiful, most gorgeous city that anyone has ever seen. Truly, there has never been another Indra who has created such a beautiful city. So Indra kind of laughs to himself, like, really, what other cities of the gods has this boy seen? So he asks the boy, and the boy isn't offended by the question at all. And he says, well, I've seen lots of Indras. Indra, I knew your father and your grandfather. I've seen the destruction and the creation of many universes. I've seen the creation and the destruction of universes lined up side by side with this universe. In every age, everything that humans and gods have built falls into this abyss and then is created anew. So Indra's pretty unsettled by this. Clearly, this is not a normal boy. And as the boy was talking, this little parade of ants comes walking in through the throne room. And the boy takes one look at this parade of ants, and he laughs out loud. And Indra, who's a little afraid at this point, asks the boy, who are you? Why are you laughing? And the boy says, no, I'm not going to tell you. I'm laughing at something that is wisdom that not even the saints know. This is wisdom that destroys. But Indra had to know. So the boy tells him, I'm laughing because each one of those ants in that parade of ants was once an Indra like yourself. Each one had created this universe, and each one was destroyed. By his merits, each one became an Indra, became a god. And also by his merits, each one became an ant. All of these palaces, they're fleeting, they're a fantasy. And if you're wise, you won't get too attached to them. So as promised, this was deeply unsettling to Indra. The boy disappeared, and Indra was left to kind of contemplate life and death in the universe. So a lot of times people think that religions are more concerned with the other world and the next world and have very little to say about this world, but that's not true. It's absolutely not true. I think that religions have an awful lot to say about this world. They have layers of meanings that we can derive, from religious stories, religious resources, religious texts and traditions about the world and our place in it. And hopefully we'll explore some of this in my FYS Religion and the Earth.